What's up, DDE? Today we're going to be talking about creating paper airplanes, and more specifically than the paper airplane itself right now. This is more an idea as to like the submission that you guys are going to be able to put in. So on my table right now, I have just like a footstool that I have here around the house. It just like always, these days we gotta make do with what we have. Trying to get a top-down view of creating a paper airplane. So by taking this out, by getting like some sort of a weight or this is just like a notebook, but a book, anything really. I can overhang my cell phone. I have a picture of that actually for you guys, but I can overhang my cell phone and take a shot down below. So yeah, with the cell phone in here, it's gonna look something like this. Getting a top-down view of your work is definitely gonna be helpful. Trying to get some good light in there is also going to be helpful. We're gonna walk through just like the most basic paper airplane design right now, and then you guys can do something a little bit more exciting for yours. But let's just talk about like your generic plane. So just give me a second here and I will get that set up. Okay, so here we go. This is just like your standard paper airplane. Again, this is not going to be winning any distance contests, but just as an example as to what you can be turning into me. So let's go through the process of building a paper airplane. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start folding down the center of the plane. We really want to make sure that the corners here and here line up exactly with the piece behind it, okay? The center fold is where every other fold in this plane is going to be constructed from. So getting a good fold here is going to be critical for the rest of our plane design, okay? So again, all my edges have lined up really nice. So I know now that I have like a 50-50 split in my paper. Okay, when we have a bend that goes like this, on this side of our bend, that's called a valley. And if we were to look at the other side of the bend, that is what we would call a mountain bend, okay? So with our valley side up, we're gonna start off by folding down to that center line, okay? And again, we really wanna make this point up top here line up good with that center mark, and we wanna make sure that the paper lines up with the center mark down below. And we are going to crease that right there, okay? Then on the opposite side, we're going to make the same fold. We're going to come down to the center, come to that peak, and we're going to fold that next, okay? So we have our two folds, and they're going to go in towards one another, okay? Next, we're going to create our next fold where we're going to take this line along that edge, and again, we're going to line that up with the center crease. So I really want to make sure that the point here is nice and crisp. I also want to make sure that once again, I'm lined up with my center mark, my center line really well. I'm going to pull that back as well. And once again, I'm going to repeat the process on this back side. Okay, so that gets us, when we fold this along that line, that gets us the first half to our paper airplane there. I'm actually going to take my tip, and just to kind of give it a little bit more weight at the front of the plane and a little bit more rigidity, I'm gonna flip, okay, so I'm gonna fold my plane up like this, but I wanna put a bit of a square nose on it. I'm gonna flip that around backwards. And I'm gonna bring this back so that the tip is on the center line of the paper airplane on the back side. So now when I fold this, that kind of like locks that in on the back. Okay, that locks it in. That gives us a flat face. If we had like a rubber band launcher, we could launch it off of this also. And then we'll make sure that that's good and creased. And now, last step here, we're gonna fold this down along the edge. Okay, again, we wanna make sure that this edge here is really well lined up. We're gonna flip this over. We're gonna do the exact same thing. Again, I wanna make sure that my edges are lined up at the front and at the back, okay, to try and make my wings as symmetrical as possible, because a symmetrical wing, equal on both sides, is gonna equal a good flying plane. Okay, and that is your basic airplane. See if we can get a couple test flights in here. Here's our test flight. Nice. Okay, so again, this one's not exactly winning any distance contest, but this is a great example of how you can create a how-to video. I'm sure that you've already checked out YouTube for some more videos. There's great examples out there as well. So take a look around, use some of the tips and tricks that I just kind of showed you with the trying to prop a phone up to create some sort of a document camera, and give it your best shot. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.